When Universal first announced a Fast and Furious attraction for Orlando, it sounded like a guaranteed hit. I mean, one of Hollywood's biggest action franchises and one of the best theme parks in the world. An entire attraction dedicated to speed, action, and Vin Diesel. What could go wrong? Well, apparently everything. If you ever been to Universal or you just know anything about theme parks, you will know this ride is not great. And I have been a Universal pass holder on and off for about a decade. And now I live about half an hour away from Universal Studios. So I go there a lot. But before making this video, I had only rode Supercharged once. And I wasn't impressed. I didn't feel like ever waiting in line for it because it just wasn't worth it. I'd rather do a roller coaster. So before this ride goes away forever, I decided to ride it again to see if my opinion has changed and also to try to understand how this ride got approved. People thought this was a good idea because since its opening, Fast and Furious Supercharged has quickly become one of the lowest rated attractions Universal has ever built. It's on so many people's top 10 worst Universal ride lists. It's usually number one. So to understand, we have to go back to before Fast and Furious ever rode into Orlando. During the 1990s, Universal Studios wasn't primarily known for their rides. This is the Universal Studios I grew up with. Growing up in Florida, our field trips weren't just like to the zoo. We got to go to internationally popular theme parks. So back in the 90s, Universal was a working movie studio where guests learned how Hollywood created movie magic. This was when Florida had tax credits for movies and TV shows, which they took away, and so did all the production jobs. That's, again, another thing. So there were classic attractions like Confrontation, Jaws, Twister, Back to the Future, and Terminator 2 3D combined practical effects before. Guests weren't simply watching movies. They were stepping inside them. However, Universal's philosophy began changing. So attendance exploded after the Wizarding World of Harry Potter opened in 2010. So the lesson learned from that was IPs are the future. Movie franchises weren't just supporting attractions anymore, they were becoming attractions themselves. Disney's Hollywood studios went through the same thing. So older experiences with original storytelling or a focus primarily on filmmaking slowly disappeared. And one attraction that found itself directly in the path of that transformation is an attraction that was actually a childhood favorite for me. Disaster! Disaster's history actually stretched all the way back to Universal's opening day. In 1990, the building housed Earthquake, the big one. Guests toured a special effects soundstage before witnessing a simulated earthquake inside a San Francisco subway station. There were massive practical effects that filled the entire room. There were ceilings that collapsed, a tanker truck exploded, floodwaters rushed as guests. Everything was happening to you. And even decades after, the earthquake finale remained one of Universal's most impressive practical effects sequences. So, in 2008, Earthquake was reimagined into Disaster! Exclamation mark. The subway scene remained, but the attraction got a more comedic twist. So, the ride cast guests as extras in a fictional disaster movie called Mother Nature, starring Christopher "We Need More Cowbell" Walkins and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yep, that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So guests volunteered to star in scenes from this fake disaster movie, which was really cool because by the end of the ride, it was all together edited and you could watch this trailer, which included The Rock and Christopher Walken, but also scenes that you recorded as guests and as extras. It wasn't the park's most technologically advanced attraction anymore, but it represented what Universal Parks originally meant to be, showing people the art of filmmaking. When Universal announced disaster would permanently close in September 2015, many longtime fans, myself included, saw it as the end of the Universal we grew up with. And some were furious. For the younger Gen Zs and whatever's after you, you might not remember this, but the first Fast and Furious premiered in 2001, and nobody expected it to become one of the biggest franchises. It was just like, okay, teens go to the movies a lot in 2001. Here's a movie they can go see. The original film focused on underground street racing in Los Angeles and stealing VCRs and DVD players. By Fast 5 in 2011, the series had transformed into a globe-trotting action adventure involving vault heists, military vehicles, there's some tanks, y'all, and increasingly impossible stunts, and some of the most insane action sequences you would see outside of Mission Impossible. And the franchise exploded internationally. Each new film earned hundreds of millions and even billions of dollars worldwide. As of today, the whole series has made over $7.3 billion globally. So of course, Universal Pictures wanted a permanent theme park attraction for this franchise. And the first version debuted at Universal Studios Hollywood in 2015. But there's one important detail that I think many people forget. It wasn't a standalone ride in Hollywood. It was simply the final scene of the world-famous studio tour. Guests were already riding enormous trams through backlot sets. Adding a CGI chase sequence at the end made sense. It was a way to get local guests to go on the studio tram again, which is a really great thing from a theme park perspective because it has such a high capacity. It can be up to an hour. It really matters how much is open that day. So the Fast and Furious part lasted only a few minutes before the tram continued on its normal route. And I don't think many people were just riding it for the sequence, but I do think it was a good way to get local guests to come back to ride the studio tram, which is very long. So I can see that not being on everyone's repeat list. But yeah, most viewers viewed it as a fun finale. The problem, of course, arose when Universal decided to build an entire attraction around the exact same concept. So, unlike Hollywood, Orlando had no studio tour because we had no more studios anymore. Universal, therefore, needed to redesign the experience. Which was just adding things at the beginning and end. So, the existing disaster building was stripped almost entirely. And the famous subway set disappeared. The practical effects vanished, and massive projection screens were installed. Giant motion-based ride was created to stimulate movement, and Universal also filmed a few new scenes, including the movie cast. And when I say screens like that, I think there are some great ways to use screens. A lot of us still had high hopes before this ride came out because Vin Diesel returned, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, Jordana Brewster, Luke Evans, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson stayed in that ride area. So for theme park fans, this was exciting. Universal rarely convinced so much of an active blockbuster cast to participate in an attraction. Usually you would just get a few, but this was like all of them. The queue itself is incredibly detailed. Guests entered the warehouse headquarters of Shredder's crew, Universal Studios. There's classic cars and movie props all around the garage. And just like Skull Island Ring of Kong, the queue is amazing. There are live actors playing Pat and Jamie, who they're working for the Shredder crew. and they talked to the stars on screen. For me, this was the best part of the ride. They seemed self-aware of what people thought of the ride, and they really leaned into it. And I've seen from videos lately, now that it's been announced that it's closing soon, that they're going all in. And to all the Pats and Jamies out there, we see you and we stand you.
Hey.
Jamie, the buses are here.
Okay, we have a really big group. Do you want me to just send them out now or sit here and do nothing?
I got this, Jamie.
Say less.
Dom, what up?
Tej, just got a heads up from Hobbs.
No way.
The FBI is about to raid your location.
Again?
Man, they always ruining our fun.
Every 3
It
minutes.
gets worse. They're leading Owen Shaw right to your door.
Which one? There's 9.
Shaw, that cockroach we beat down in Spain?
La cucaracha.
What's he got to do with this?
Nothing yet.
Then why bring him up?
Let's keep it that way. Get those people on those buses.
Make me.
You need to start plugging out right now.
Pay me more than.
Get that turbo truck ready. I'm sending Lenny there to pick it up.
He's on it.
I'm on it.
I knew it.
Hobbs needs our help. He needs our team.
You're the team.
Spread the word.
Tell everyone.
But keep it in our family.
Tell each other.
Keep it quiet.
Say nothing. Ooh, another ball guy.
Hobbs. Hobbs, my man.
This one's hot.
What up?
Sorry, Brother Taj, no time for chit-chat. I just sent you a brief on FBI agent Novak. Has Toretto filled you in?
Can I have a raise?
Yeah.
Slay.
He wants us to get everybody over to the party at Sullivan's.
I'm not going.
Sounds like a plan. That party is a ready-made diversion. Keep it going.
Oh no.
We need to discuss how you're going to get all those civilians out of there without tipping off the
I
FBI.
thought they were family.
Okay, hold on.
You're
Let me
not.
get everybody squared away, and we'll talk offline.
Without you guys.
Copy that, Taj, and let everybody know. Shut off your cell phones.
That ain't
We
happening.
don't want Shaw tracking your location.
She's been recording the whole time.
Okay, Jamie, you heard the man. It's about to go to a whole nother level.
Like your hairline.
But it is never good when a pre-show and the queue is the best part of a ride. So Fast and Furious Supercharged officially opened April 23rd, 2018, and marketing focused heavily on speed. I remember seeing commercials and even like a Vin Diesel cutout in the store, and it just gives you this feeling of power, explosion, family, everything that Fast and Furious was all about. Everything suggested that guests were about to experience the ultimate street race. Why we were all disappointed when we actually rode the ride. So instead of, a streetcar race, which would have been really cool, visitors board large party buses. A bus, when there are these really cool, expensive cars. Listen, I'm not a car person, but I want to go fast in a fancy car. The story is that the party bus riders, are attending an after party when criminal Owen Shaw, played by Luke Evans, attacks. Like Star Tours, where someone's a rebel spy, one of the guests is a witness to a crime he committed. But they don't do that cute thing where they show that person on screen or they point at anyone. It's just like, yeah, one of us is a narc. We don't know who. But we're all family now, and Dom and the others are going to protect us. And from there, the bus enters this projection dome. CGI cars race around the enormous screens while the vehicles gently tilt and vibrate. There are a few practical effects, like there's some fog and stuff, and that's cool, I guess. Dom eventually rescues everyone, and somehow he becomes bigger than a helicopter. So the entire experience, roughly 5 minutes. And after the first time riding it, many guests, myself included, exited wondering, that's it? Also, how is Dom bigger than a helicopter? So Fast and Furious Supercharged didn't fail because it looked bad. Before 2025, when it was still a 3D ride, it looked okay. It wasn't that bad. Again, even if the proportions were off. But now, without the glasses, it just looks like a PlayStation cutscene. I'm like, a PlayStation 2 cutscene. Which feels mean to PlayStation 2 games. But again, the queue and pre-show were fantastic. And the cast was there. The reason it failed was the ride system didn't match what the franchise was known for. Fast and Furious is all about adrenaline and cool cars and chase sequences and speed. And guests experienced none of those things. They sat inside a stationary bus watching cars on screens. It was just like watching the movie instead of being part of it. And honestly, I've been to the 4DX movie theater. That is more intense than this ride. This ride doesn't have seatbelts, which will just tell you, like, it does not move much. So let's compare this to an older attraction. The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man in Islands of Adventure opened 16 years before Supercharged. It's a 3D motion simulator and dark ride with amazing physical sets and practical effects, but also screens. And even though the ride is over 25 years old, it's still one of the best Universal has created. It's one of those rides where, like, if I'm there, I'm riding Spider-Man. I also wonder if the hype of the advertising hurt it. The Hollywood Tram Tour had mixed reviews. Again, because it wasn't the main attraction. But in Florida, it got really bad. So theme park YouTube exploded in the late 2010s. Ride reviews spread quickly. Within weeks, videos calling Supercharged Universal's worst attraction accumulated millions of views. Online jokes multiplied. The phrase family became associated with the ride's repetitive dialogue. And again, many guests agreed with me that the queue was more entertaining than the attraction itself. And even the original commercial only included scenes from the queue and the pre-show. Some other people compared it to a city bus with television screens, which, yeah, I can see that. And even people who had never visited Universal knew the ride's reputation because of the vitriol online. Few attractions have become internet memes like Fast and Furious Supercharged. And even Universal employees agree. During an interview session at IAAPA Expo in 2021, regarding the creation of Fast and Furious Supercharged, Universal Creative Senior Vice President and CCO, Barry Coop, stated that the approval of the Florida attraction was the biggest mistake of his career. I think Universal really listened after Supercharged got super hated, because after that, Universal mostly stopped with the screens. Hagrid's Magical Creatures motorbike adventure focused on animatronics and speed. Jurassic World Velocicoaster focused on physical thrills. Epic Universe introduced entirely new ride technology. And the era of relying heavily on giant projection domes quietly faded. And then the announcement that we all were waiting for. I wasn't surprised when it was announced it was going to permanently close. But in its place, Universal chose something fans wanted from the beginning. A real roller coaster. Fast, physical, outdoors, and guests would be in actual cars. Exactly the type of attraction people expected from the franchise all along. It just took us a while to get there, Universal. So Fast and Furious Supercharged kind of like reminds me of a dark time in Universal Studios history, where they felt like they were more focused on screens and cutting corners. After all these years, and riding it again, what do I think? I think Supercharged is going to be remembered as one of the worst Universal rides ever. I hope ever, because I hope we only get good rides from now. Are you one of the few people who like the Fast and Furious ride? Let me know. Why do you think they made it in the first place? Love to hear your thoughts. And I had a lot of fun going down this rabbit hole of what this ride is and why does it exist. Thank you all for watching, and please like and subscribe and all that YouTube stuff. It does help the algorithm.